And I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear what you say, honestly, because like there's nothing you're gonna say I can't read on Twitter 2 hours ago.
All right, guys, welcome into the Ordinary Fantasy Pod, Week 10. Guys, it's the season. It's going by way too fast for my taste, man. I can't believe it's already 10 weeks in, and it's making me sad. It's making me sad that we only have like 8 more of these podcasts or something like that to do for you, the rest of you guys out there. But who knows? We might keep it going. We might just keep this thing going year round. You know what I mean? What do you guys? Are you into that?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do a baseball pod. Let's do a basketball pod. Let's do an Oscars pod. You guys want to talk about movies?
Yeah, we'd have to bring in Mike Bennett for that one. I think
for sure.
we'd have to have our correspondent in the field. He's the only one who sees all those movies.
Yeah.
I may have to dip out on the movie ones. I mean, I'd love to participate, but I have not been to a movie theater in over 12 years. So I don't know. I'm not that current in that shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the good thing about movies these days. You don't have to go to the theaters anymore. You just build a theater in your living room. That's all you need.
Are you hip to the Plex yet, Matt?
No, Jeff got me on there. Hell yeah, dude.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Jeff's gonna keep us all hooked up with the Oscar, run of movies. He's gonna get them all on there. You'll be back in. We'll get you up to speed. And if you're not on Grofplex, you're missing out, man. I'll tell you what.
Yep.
It's the business. All right, guys. Well, this was a big week. We had people returning. We had people moving teams. We have people. Sorry, upcoming returning. We have some big names coming back, and potentially big names coming back in a couple of weeks. And then we have somebody signed off the couch this week onto a team. We got a lot to talk about. But before we get too far into this thing, you guys, I personally want to talk a little bit about Joshua Dobbs because, I mean, what the hell, man? What a story this guy, right? He comes out at the beginning of the year, gets a chance in Arizona, plays well enough to when Kirk Cousins goes down, they felt good enough to bring him over to Minnesota. He wasn't even supposed to start this week, but boom, injury. Now he's in the game, and he's lighting it up. He's not lighting it up as in like he didn't have a huge fantasy week, but he performed well. He performed well under pressure and under the gun. Are you guys as excited about Joshua Dobbs as I am?
Well, I mean, he cost me a lot of money this week. I will say this: I was rooting for him, and I have him on multiple dynasty leagues. I don't know how it happened. I think early in the process during the summer, it got announced that he was signing with Arizona. We knew Kyler was out.
Yeah.
So I went and scooped him up in a bunch of dynasty leagues. Usually quarterbacks you can never find a quarterback in season in these competitive dynasty leagues. So I have him in, I think, 4 different dynasty leagues. 2 of them are best balls, and those 2 teams, most weeks he's up there as one of my top 2 quarterbacks. So he's been saving both of those best ball dynasties. And so of course I naturally root for him. And I was this weekend, I'm sitting on my couch and I'm rooting for him. I'm seeing him have that comeback and he throws that final touchdown. I'm like, yes, I'm rooting. And then I looked at all my parlays and I went, no, literally one. There was like 3 parlays where that was the last straw. Like I just needed that one win from Atlanta, and Josh Dobbs screwed me. So hey, it's like it's a double-edged sword for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not real, excited for Josh Dobbs. He's not a great quarterback. He's coming in, keeping some fantasy players relevant. So in that sense, I'm excited that there's somebody out there doing that. But I don't think he has a long career in the NFL. I don't think he's going to be a top 20 quarterback or anything like that. But it's good that he's being useful and keeping fantasy players going.
Yeah, I like the story. Sure. I mean, yes, I benefit from him, obviously, having Jordan Addison on my team and whatnot. It's nice to see them have somebody that can actually, connect down the field with the pass. Because the guy they had in prior to that was killing me.
I think Matthew Berry, I just saw a clip yesterday. Matthew Berry, we all know who that is.
Yeah.
Says that with Justin Jefferson coming back, that he considers Josh Dobbs a top 12 fantasy quarterback for the rest of the season, which I think is a bit lofty. Yeah. I don't know if he's top 12, but Matthew Berry thinks he is. So who knows? It'll be a story to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah, it's interesting. And with, we got some big news of some other people coming back this week. We got Connor and Kyler. Speaking of Kyler, we just spoke about him coming back this week for Arizona. That's injury news that we're talking about. Yeah, what does that mean? What does that mean to you guys for Arizona and the fantasy portion of this? Are there any big implications there?
Well, yeah, I mean, it puts to bed the thought of, is Arizona tanking?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, that's over now. Why would you bring him back if you are?
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. That question's answered.
Wait, are you sure about that? Because, I mean, as we just talked about, Dobbs was actually playing better than expected for Arizona. Maybe their tanking is bringing Kyler back.
Yeah, you don't really buy that, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, Marquise Brown with him, through the roof, man. That guy he's going to get 14, throws a game or attempts a game, and I think it's great for their McBride, their tight end, and Connor. Like I said, the reason I didn't want him at the beginning of the season because I thought there's going to be such a train wreck out there that he wouldn't get enough run. That hasn't been true anytime that he's in the game. He got total touches. So Connor right back to a top 12 running back, most likely. Kyler Murray probably top 15 quarterback. And
Sorry,
and Marquise. What was that?
Nathan's killing bugs during the middle of your session.
It's a mosquito. It bit me on the back of the neck twice, and then it just flew in front of me, and I killed it. So live
Shows
on
you how
air,
little
guys.
I pay attention to you guys, dude. I don't even know what's going on. I'm just watching myself in the camera, talking along.
He doesn't even see us. That's hilarious, dude. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm interested too to see how they, especially Connor with, I got him on my dynasty team. I'm glad to see him coming back. I think that's going to be great for all you Connor owners. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Kyler comes back this week. If he performs if he comes back and he's Kyler from old, or if he won't be.
That's what I was just going to say is I am excited for Marquise Brown. I've never been a Hollywood guy myself, but I mean, the whole reason they brought him to Arizona is he went to college with Kyler.
Yeah.
And we saw that connection last year when he was healthy. When Hollywood was healthy, he was one of the top wide receivers in the league because Kyler just zeroes in on him, right? It wasn't until he got hurt that we started to see him more zeroing in on Hopkins. But I don't know that we're going to see the same Kyler. I mean, it was a knee injury, right? And part of his game, I mean, he's so small, he can't stand behind that line and just deliver. Part of his game is kind of getting out of the pocket, getting into space, and I don't know if he'll be able to do that. I know that offensive line is in shambles right now. So what Kyler Murray we're going to get remains to be seen. I did go out and put out some offers for Hollywood in a couple of leagues just to kind of be, hoping for the best. They all got rejected. So I guess everybody thinks Hollywood's going to be wheels up from this point forward. But I don't know. I would temper my expectations if I was a Cardinals fan.
Yeah, I also benefit from that, having Hollywood on my team as well. I got tons of Arizona guys. Jeez, man, what was I thinking? All right, Justin Jefferson might be returning next week, guys. He's cleared to practice this week, but his coach came out and said he's not likely to play this week. So next week, maybe. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I know there's a trade in the works with you, Nate, with Justin Jefferson, and we can kind of talk about that now, or we can whatever.
Yeah,
but
we can talk about the trade later. But I will say this about Justin Jefferson. What I find interesting about this is that when he first got hurt, they put out the timeline. They said 4 to 6 weeks, right? There was never any different timeline. It was always 4 to 6 weeks. And then on this podcast, Matt and I were both very pessimistic about that. Yeah. And I think back to why were we so pessimistic? Where did we get that idea that it might be longer than 6 weeks? And I think a lot of that was wrapped around the fact that Minnesota looked so bad even when he was there, right? I think at the time they were 1-3, right? They were one of the most disappointing teams in the league. So we thought, okay, if Justin Jefferson's out 4 to 6 weeks, there's a chance that he comes back and they're 1-7, 1-8, right? At that point, why would he be incentivized to come back and play? Maybe he'll sit the rest of the year out. But I'll tell you, 2 things have happened since we made that, pessimistic prediction. The 2 things that I've seen is, number one, the Vikings won 4 games in a row. So there's definitely incentive for him to come back, right? They're now in the playoff hunt. They're shooting towards that wild card. The second thing that I've seen is over the last 4 weeks, he has been on the sideline of every game, and he is cheering every touchdown. He's high-fiving the quarterbacks. He's traveling with the team, which a lot of guys that are on the IR don't. A lot of guys will stay, back in Minnesota. He's traveling to all the away games. and he seems very invested in the success of this team. I think he's itching to get back out there. I think there's no doubt in my mind that when he's healthy, he's going to be out there and trying to help this team win.
Matt, you got anything to add?
That sums it up pretty much.
All right.
Yep.
I hope someday we get a new bit called pessimistic
Predictions.
predictions.
Yeah.
I can see like the sad music or like I don't know. It's just funny. It's funny to me. All right. Matthew Stafford, guys. He's got an injury to monitor this week during the bye. He's still messing with that broken thumb. But something big happened for them. Something not big necessarily, but interesting. They went out and picked up Carson Wentz off the couch. He was down there.
Is it a broken thumb? Isn't it a ligament damage?
I meant broke. I didn't mean broken. I just meant like.
All right.
Sorry, not specific injury. I just meant his thumb's falling off.
Broken as in it doesn't work correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So specific. Sorry, brother.
Well, we're giving out news. We got to be a little specific.
I know.
I know. Yeah. So with the Stafford injury, they did pick up Carson Wentz. I just think it is a depth kind of thing. Sean McVay doesn't seem worried. They're going to bye this week. We know, Ben, you said it last week on the spot, Stafford plays hurt all the time. He has his whole career. I mean, he's probably played as many hurt games as healthy games, if not way more hurt. So I think there's no problem. I think he's coming back right after the bye. I think Carson Wentz is just there.
Do you think it's Nate? Do you think it's a reaction to the Ripon play?
Exactly. And actually there's two other transactions that I think are even more significant than signing Carson Wentz. It's that they cut Ripon and they cut the other guy. I think his last name was Dresser. They had a quarterback with the last name Dresser, which is kind of random. Something Dresser. But they cut them both. So right after they signed Carson Wentz, they cut both of those guys. So if they had signed Carson and kept both of those guys, then I'd be worried. I would be saying to myself, that means Stafford is going to be that means Stafford's going to be out a while. But the fact that they cut those two guys tells me that they're expecting Stafford back, and they're just not happy with the backups that they had, and that Carson is coming in to be that emergency backup.
That's good analysis. Yep, that was very good.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too. All right, well, let's talk about our main league trade, guys. Adam traded Justin Jefferson to Nate. I mentioned that earlier for Cooper Kupp. It'll be interesting to see. Sorry, I thought my thing disconnected for a second. It'll be interesting to see if it's countered. We'll see if somebody steps up and counters that, but I doubt it's. I personally don't think it's likely that's going to be countered.
Why do you say that?
I don't see it either, Ben.
I don't see somebody offering something more than Kupp that is going to be worth more than Kupp to him. I know Kupp's, he has his issues because of the quarterback play, and he hasn't been himself since he came back from injury and stuff. But he's still a name. He's still a big name. He's still Cooper Kupp. And I looked at my team. I'm like, is there somebody I have worth trading away that I can afford to get rid of right now? That's better than Kupp. That's a better offer than Kupp. And I was like, I can't do it personally, and I don't know that anybody else can.
Well, keep in mind that I didn't offer this trade. The trade was offered to me.
Oh, okay.
And you can't. You're saying, nobody's going to offer more than Kupp for Jefferson. Maybe that's true, but how do you know somebody's not going to offer me more for Kupp?
More than Justin Jefferson?
What?
Who's more than Justin Jefferson?
Well, with the question marks.
No, that's a real question. Who's more than Justin Jefferson?
Well, I'll give you a little inside baseball.
He's not going to answer.
No, I will. I'll tell you. So when I got this offer from Adam, as you guys know, yesterday I was sort of saying in jest because of this Carson Wentz signing. I was saying,
yeah, on the block.
He's on the block, right?
Yeah.
And Adam's the one that sent me this trade. And initially I was like, okay, that's interesting. I didn't think Jefferson was going to be back for a few weeks, but I started researching and I saw there was a chance he might come back. But the problem is Jefferson's definitely out this week, and he's got a bye coming up week 13. So I thought, I'm already on the razor's edge as it is. I mean, if I lose to Matt this week, which he's favored right now by like 25 points against me.
Yeah.
So what I started doing is looking to see if I could get a better offer for Kupp. And, most of the people I talked to were pretty quiet. Nobody wants to trade for a guy on a bye. But there was one particular team that was potentially interested and was offering me, okay, maybe this, maybe that. We were talking last night. And then this morning, the last thing that was said last night was, I think this might work. Give me the night to sleep on it. And this morning he sent me a bullshit trade that was nothing that we had discussed at all.
Steve?
right?
Joe.
So,
Joe?
Steve?
Sounds like
that
Joe.
is a Steve move. That is
It
a
is a Steve move.
No, this wasn't Steve this time though.
Was it Joe?
No, it wasn't Joe.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that's
Yeah.
Bobby.
So the fact is, there is another trade that I was happy with because it was not because the players are better than Jefferson. They're not. It's because the players are playing this week and they could potentially help me win this week. So yeah, if that trade was to rematerialize, if that trade was to be offered to me again, would I accept it? Probably. I would let that counter offer go through as opposed to Justin Jefferson, only because I'm guaranteed to get those players. It was 2 players for Cup. I'd be guaranteed to get them this week as opposed to waiting a week or two.
So Nate, when do you think realistically you'd have Jefferson back if this trade goes through?
Well, there's a lot of talk about him being ready to play next week. Now, is that a guarantee? No.
No. What's your thought though? You made the trade.
Yeah.
What week do you think?
I think that he's going to try and play next week.
Okay.
I think he wants to play this week, and I think they're being cautious with him. The exact words his coach used in the interview today was not "he's out this week."
Correct.
The exact words he used was "he's eligible to come back this week," but I think that's a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
right. And so that tells me that Justin Jefferson wants to come back, but the coach is like, "Okay, just wait. Let's make sure that you're ready. Let's go through all the medical tests." And I could tell you just by watching Jefferson on the sideline, I could tell you he wants to come back. He feels like he can contribute to this team. So I think he'll be back next week. The problem is if he doesn't come back next week, then I might be really screwed because they have a bye week 13.
Yeah,
they're not going to bring him back week 12. Nope. I know that much. Nope. So it's either he's going to come back week 11 and play both 11 and 12, or he's probably out till week 14. And believe me, that went through my mind as well when Adam sent me this trade is, who's the team that I'm most likely to play in the loser bowl? Oh, I'm probably going to play Adam in the loser bowl. Who would I rather have? Cup with the matchups he has or Jefferson? So maybe part of my motivation too is this is a building my team to beat Adam in the loser bowl.
So you traded to stay out of the dress. All right. I like it. Now you got context. I was looking for that.
There you go.
All right,
and you got Tank Dell this week, Brown, and then Judy and Moore. So I mean, you wouldn't be able to play Cup this week anyway. So he's on a bye. So
he's on a bye.
He can be all right, man.
Yeah, no, Cup was on a bye this week anyways. Where it's really going to hurt is next week when I play against Justin, because Justin and I have that bet. And if Jefferson's not back, and I could have had Cup, but now Cup is on somebody else's team, and Justin beats me because of that. That'll hurt. But in the end, I thought the gamble was worth it. My team is in no position to sit back and wait and cross my fingers and hope things get better. I got to take some big swings at this point.
So does any of this have to do with Cup scoring less than 7 points 3 weeks in a row, or somewhere close to that?
My motivation, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, I think that the reason he had the 2 bad games is because of Stafford's injury, right? I mean, he had the 1 bad game, and that was kind of inexplicable. I mean, they were playing against a pretty tough defense that week, but I was watching the whole game, and they just weren't, which is weird because he got 10 targets. So I can't say they weren't throwing to him, but he got 10 targets, only 4 catches, and he scored like 6 points. Yeah. So that was a little disappointing.
So it is the upside of Jefferson, not that you're scared off from Cup.
The upside is definitely what's appealing to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, yeah, and you're got to be excited with Josh Dobbs there now. At least you're not worried about the quarterback play. It's going to be elevated from the guy they had playing there, last week that got hurt. So that's exciting also for the trade.
Right. And one question I asked myself, and this is an exercise that I would encourage anybody to go through when they're accepting a trade, is I asked myself, if it was happening in reverse, what would I do? If I had Justin Jefferson right now, if he was on my team, and I knew he might be coming back next week, and somebody offered me Cup for him right now, would I accept? Probably not. I think if I had Justin Jefferson right now and I thought he has a chance to come back next week and somebody offered me Cup on a bye, I would have been like, no, that's a good offer, but I think I'll wait a week. Yeah. And so, with that in mind, to me, it made sense. So.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Nice. All right, well, let's move on to our dynasty trade. Nate, you're in this one as well. You offered a 5th to purchase AOC off Matt's practice squad. AOC, not the political person AOC, but what is the guy's name again?
Aiden O'Connell.
Thank you. I was blanking on his name. And then Matt just basically said no and declined and activated him. So it was that easy. It was a quick turnaround. Matt, you want to talk about why you just shut it down? Was it just the 5th round pick? That was it?
Nate kind of touched on it earlier in dynasty leagues, especially Superflex. It's hard to find quarterbacks. Hoard as many as you can, even if they're first or second start, even if they're hurt. I mean, I got Daniel Jones on IR. I got Hendon Hooker on IR. I mean, all the quarterbacks you can keep. And honestly, I watch Nate every week. Every time any news comes out about any quarterback, he's right there. He's picking up every fucking quarterback he can. He plays a lot more dynasty than I do. So I'm taking that lesson, and I'm stacking up as many quarterbacks as I can, man.
That's like that thing you talked about last week, Nate. When you play with somebody that's maybe a little above your punching, whatever, weight class. Thank you. And you want to follow kind of what they're doing. You know what I mean? You want to take tips from them and see how to and learn from them. That's what you said.
Yeah, I mean, there's no downside to stashing quarterbacks, especially in a super flex. But and let's be clear about one thing: I don't really want Aiden O'Connell on my team. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. But I felt like I had a responsibility to my team to at least put a 5th round offer in for him because I had Jimmy G as my 3rd quarterback, and obviously Jimmy got benched for Aiden O'Connell. They haven't said whether it's a permanent benching or not, but I'm the number 1 seed in this league going into the playoffs. What if my quarterback gets hurt? What if Mahomes gets hurt? What if Burrow gets hurt? I need to have a 3rd quarterback on my team as insurance. And if all AOC costs is a 5th round pick according to our league rules, it was worth it for me to throw a stab out there. Yeah. But I wouldn't have paid anything higher than a 5th. I still am in the market though. I'll be looking for maybe a veteran. Once some of these teams start to realize that their season is over and they're not going to make the playoffs, maybe some of these teams will be more willing to part with a veteran, and maybe I can trade a 2nd or a 3rd round draft pick for
somebody like a Kyler Murray coming off an injury.
No, well, we'll see how he looks, but
no,
like. I don't even know whose team he's on right now because I know he's moved around a bit. But like somebody like a Geno Smith,
on Ben's team, he's always been on Ben's team.
No, he's
I know Kyler. I was
talking about Geno.
Yeah, Geno Smith, like something like that. Like some guy in his like mid-30s that isn't going to be a starter for many more years. Yeah. If I can trade like a 3rd round pick for a guy like that, it's good insurance policy to make sure I don't get. You don't want to lose your dynasty playoffs because you didn't prepare and have a backup quarterback on your bench, right?
No, I agree. That totally makes total sense. That's why I was excited to see Kyler coming back because Purdy could get hurt at some point. Herbert could go down at some point. It's always nice to have that backup.
Now that you have Kyler back, does that mean that you'd be more willing to deal Purdy for the right price? Your homer,
we got dynasty talk later. We got dynasty.
Yeah, my homer side is really kicking in there, man. Yeah. It's like Venom in Spider-Man. He's in my ear right now, telling me no. Talk Gilly for us, Matt. Talk some Gilly.
Yeah. So, Fun Bitch got knocked out this week. So Steve is gone. He's out of here. Both teams. See you later, buddy.
Out of the league and out of the thread.
I know. I saw that.
Did he take himself out, or you take him out?
No, he bounced. Like,
okay, nice. All right.
The second that he got passed, he was like, "Later, guys."
Oh, nice.
So have fun with the rest of the season, boys.
So the one good thing about this is I overspent, but I needed a quarterback. I've been on a razor thin edge. I've been running with Purdy all season. I needed my fucking quarterback. I got Jalen Hurts this week. I feel so much better on my team going forward. So,
how much did you pay for him?
I paid 101. Next highest is like 40. I only had 2, so I spent half of what I had. But
okay,
I'm pretty locked in with the rest of my team. I got a pretty decent team, but quarterback is the one bad spot. So that was fun to get him. So side league, Jamie's on top. Congratulations, Jamie. Nice work. So
congratulations, Josh.
Listen to her a little more.
Sorry.
What?
No, that one Jamie has made it very clear. Josh has he's not even allowed to look at her team.
Yeah,
he's not allowed within 30 yards of her team. This is
they don't
team only.
They don't co-own both leagues. No. Okay.
No.
And so tied in that league with Jamie is Sean and Bobby. So she's not up there by herself, but she's up there.
That's awesome.
So in that league, I think that I have the highest points in the league by like 30 or 40 points, but I have a losing record of 4-5. So it's super frustrating because I'm on here every week saying there's so many people on waivers to pick up. There's so many people. I score points. I just get the loss. I get lose. So I tried to make trades today for a quarterback. Nobody was having any. I mean, Nate tried to trade me a trash can.
Trash can? Come on.
Not who I wanted. Not who
Josh
I wanted.
Dobbs. Josh Dobbs ain't available out there.
No, I tried to give him Kenny Pickett, but Matt, you are on a 3-game losing streak, so I would think that you probably do need to grab a quarterback this week. And yeah,
so
you have
think
the highest.
I have Carr and I think Heineke in there. So I have my 2 quarterbacks. I don't think Pickett's any better than Heineke.
Oh, sure he is.
No, for 1 week.
Huh.
I don't need him long term. I just need him for one game.
I don't know about that.
What side?
It's funny you always say that there's so many people on waivers in this league, and I know it feels that way because we play in a 14-man league, and that's a 10-man league. So when you look at the waiver wire, you're like, holy shit! If I was in my 14-man league, I would pick this guy up and this guy up and this guy up and this guy up, right? But then when you go to actually make the transaction, you go, wait, who am I going to drop though, right? Because our benches are so stacked as well. So I don't know that there's so many players on waivers. It's just the comparison between the 2 different kinds of leagues,
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we're moving over to Dynasty. Myself and Jeff, not Josh, Jeff are tied at 4 and 5. That name gets me all the fucking time. Drives me crazy. All right, so I lost my train of thought.
You and Jeff are tied.
Oh yeah, Jeff tied at 4 and 5. Dre's at 6 and 3. Nate's at 9 and 0. Bobby 8 and 1. Ben is on a slide, man. He's down to 6 and 3. Now, Ben, I know you think you're one of the top teams in this league or in that league, and you've been there, and your team looks good. I've been talking to you for 10 weeks now about trading your extra players because you got guys on your bench who you're not using. Yeah. Now you're starting to fall behind. You're still in the playoff hunt, but you're falling behind. Are you going to take any action to try and get back up there? Because there's other people like me who were only a game or 2 behind you, and I'm trending up. You're trending down, and you got extra players.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had a tough week this week. I lost to Jeff. But I was without players, so I got my squad back this week. I got Herbert, Eckler. I'm running Stevenson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Etienne's back. I got Marquise Brown getting his quarterback back this year, and then I got Purdy back. So I think my team is in a lot better shape this week than it was last week, obviously. So I think I'm gonna be able to pull out a win. But yeah, no, you're right, brother. There are guys on my team that I can probably still look to trade.
Just for picks for going forward, just to re-up. I mean, the guys who are running out of service time on your team because they're getting older, especially the running backs. Man, those are the guys who you should be cycling through now to get picks.
So you're saying Ben should give up at this point?
Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No.
I mean, I got Khalil Herbert. I got James Conner, Khalil Herbert, Brian Robinson Jr. Those are my 3 running backs that are on my bench right now. Connor's coming back this week. Herbert's on the IR, and then Brian Robinson
coming back
Jr.
this week.
Herbert's coming back this week.
Yeah.
I didn't
got lots of running backs. That's all I'm saying. There's people in this league who would use those running backs, and if they're just going to waste away, because I mean, what if Roshan's the guy next year?
Waste away. I mean, they're not. What if
Roshan's a starter in Chicago next year? Khalil Herbert's nothing. Right now, he has value. Next year, he may have none. So that's just trying to help you talk to you about getting rid of some of your pieces for some stuff for next year. But sounds like you're not quite there yet.
You're what? I'm 6 and 3. You're 4 and 5.
Yep.
You need some trades. All right, brother. Let's talk this week.
It sounds like that's what he's doing. I think he's trying to butter you up.
He's laying down the groundwork.
No, I was actually just trying to help you out, dude.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's nice of you to have my back, dude.
Just don't want to see you wasting your pieces.
Wasting my potential.
Matt, you're 4 and 5 in that league, and you're out of the playoffs. But the 6th seed is in the playoffs at 4 and 5. So I mean, you're right there.
I know.
So at what point do you have a decision to make that I'm either going to be contending this year or I'm going to be a seller this year because the trade deadline's coming in 2 weeks?
No, contending. Same thing as last year. I know I'm not going to win the whole thing unless I go on a good run at the end, but I'm not in the spot where I need to throw, I already gave up my first round pick for next year. So there's no reason to try and tank and use that. So no, I'm competing. I'm competing. Hopefully I'm tied for my division lead. So, I mean, I can easily make the playoffs if I just stick it out and I'm on the upswing. I got some young guys who are coming on. So
Nate, you're playing my role this year. You're undefeated 9 weeks in. I think I went 10 weeks or something like that last year, something like that before I got beat. and then obviously I slid in the playoffs. Do you have any concern of your team doing that this year, or are you not worried?
You seen his team?
Yeah. My team's pretty deep. I mean, Bobby's right there with me. He's 8-1, and I think he's only like 6 or 7 points behind me on the year. So yeah, I mean, there's always a concern that I could lose to Bobby, and any team could beat any team on any given week. We've seen that, right? So
Yeah.
of course, there's always that possibility. But there's not really much I can do at this point. I've got
Damn,
depth
bro.
at every.
I haven't looked at your team in a while.
Yeah, I've got depth at every
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
Bye weeks are a breeze. I'm like, let me just take this guy out, put this guy in, no problem.
Seriously.
What a dick.
It's true though. God, man. Oh, you got Mitchell.
Yeah.
You got Mitchell.
Yeah, I've got. I mean, and I'll never play him because I've got just too many. I've got too many running
Yeah.
backs, too many wide receivers. So, I mean, really, the only thing that I could do to improve my team is maybe try and consolidate a little bit. Maybe take 2 good running backs and trade them
Yeah.
up for 1 good running back. If somebody would be willing to do it, but
Yeah.
There's
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
that, but with that, there's nobody that is that consistent running back this year where you would trade a, 2 RB1s or, low end RB1s for a stud because there's not really super studs this year in the running back department.
except for CMC. I mean, I do have
You already-
CMC,
One,
he's number
okay.
1 running back,
Yeah.
and he is, getting up there in age. Maybe I could.
Yeah, you could get a pick. You could get a starting like a high pick and a good running back for him. Probably, I would think
Probably.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely think so. We'll talk later.
I have,
All
I have a feeling my homerism is going to get in the way of that one as well.
All right, Matt, finish this up.
Let's move it over to the main league. Dre finally lost for the first time ever in this league
Yeah,
after 8 wins in a row. So he is dropped down to 8-1. Ben, Alex, and myself are tied at 7-2. Sean is up to 3rd in the division, so he's in the playoffs as it sits now, and so is Ryan. So as I calculate it, that is 4 out of one division, 2 out of the other making the playoffs. I did get a nice text from Alex today pointing out that I finally beat him in the power rankings. I'm 1, he's 2. He wasn't happy with that, but that was nice to get that text. I appreciate it, Alex. And I've also tightened up the overall points. I'm only 10 behind him on the season. So that's fun.
You keep putting up numbers, man. You keep putting up numbers.
Yeah, I did.
It's
A couple
impressive.
of my guys put up numbers this week. A couple of them.
Yeah.
What a segue. What a segue. Right into our.
High score of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Big numbers, like I just said, 167.52. It's actually technically you shouldn't be like super excited or anything. It is the lowest high score of the season. So
Is
I
it?
mean,
Nice.
I wasn't sure about that. I put that on the agenda as a question mark because I wasn't sure. But
Oh.
I don't know that it is, tell you the truth. I don't think so.
I mean,
I
it
think
seems
that might
pretty
be
low.
I
It
think
seems
that
pretty
might
low.
be.
We'll see.
Most of the high scores have been in the 200s and the
But if you-
187.
190s.
If you add all of
190s.
my high scores together, that's 3 of them this season, right?
We don't do that here.
That's a lot of points, dude.
We
That's all
don't
I'm
do that.
saying. So
We don't do
it's-
that here. And I'm just gonna say you had the low. I don't even know. We don't know, but we're just gonna give it to you.
I don't think I
Top
did.
performers. Jake Ferguson. Look at this guy, 22 points. Deontay, welcome back to the league, Mr. Deontay Johnson. Caught his first touchdown of the season. Welcome back.
Mhm.
His first touchdown of the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
2 seasons.
Yep.
You're right. 2 seasons.
He didn't get one last year.
Yeah, that's right. 22 points. Edwards, your DB got you 20, and then your linebacker Moore, 45.5. Man, that's just
Yes.
ridiculous from a linebacker, dude. That's
2
like Bobby.
interceptions returned for touchdowns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Steve was crying about it all
Okay,
over the
so
thread.
let me
Poor
talk
double
about this.
deuce. Poor double deuce.
So me and Steve going head to head. It's the first games aren't even over, but it's at the end, and I'm basically sending him, "Hey, good game, Steve." He had me. Like I knew I lost. I mean, my guys had like put up like 6 points, 6 points, 6 points, like terrible. I was not trying to jinx. I don't believe in jinxes, but I wasn't playing that game. I honestly really thought I was losing and gonna lose. I put my phone down because you'll go back and look at the threads. I didn't talk to you guys after like 4:00 that day.
Yeah.
I put my phone down. I went on to do other stuff. I opened a bottle of whiskey and I just had a fucking great day watching football in the background while I did a lot of other things. I didn't look at my phone until I woke up the next morning. That was a fun fucking thing to see. I thought I lost. So that was fucking amazing, dude. It's a great way to fucking win.
Yeah, I watched both of those pick sixes, and I guess it didn't immediately dawn on me that I didn't know if he was on anybody's fantasy team. Because you see defensive players score touchdowns all the time, and they're
Yeah.
not on anybody's fantasy team. So I didn't
Mhm.
even think to go look to see who owned him. But I watched
Mhm.
both of those pick sixes, and I was excited because we were playing in our high stakes league. We had picked up the Indy defense, so that's all I was focused on. Is yes, we have Indy defense in our
Yeah.
high stakes league. But what I was going to tell you, Matt, is man, your team did not, for all intents and purposes, should not have won this week, right?
No.
Mm.
You had so many low performing players. You had so many guys that did not do what we expect them to do normally. And
Mhm.
and to have a player like Moore come in and get you 45 and then your DB get you 20, it reminds me of some of my championship years where it just seemed like anything I did, I was just charmed, right? Like I
Mm.
pick up a running back on a flyer. Oh, the starter got hurt. Now he's a starter. I'm having a bad week. Oh, Jason Taylor just fucking sacked a guy, took the ball away from him, and took it 90 yards the other way. Like some of my championship years, it just felt like I just had luck on my side the
Yeah.
whole year.
Yeah.
Does it feel a bit like that to you this year?
I have made some moves that have worked out really well. Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
you dropping forward, I think, and then me picking him up on before the injury. I mean, yeah, Bobby trading away Puka, thinking that he's going to be nothing for Miles Sanders, who's now not playing. Not charmed, not magical, not extra lucky, but fun. Sure, a lot
It
of
does
fun,
feel that
man.
way sometimes, though, right? It kind of
It
feels like when you wake up, you just automatically know I'm going to win today, no problem, right?
Yeah, I definitely felt that way this weekend. I know. I'm sure, brother, you're gonna feel like that this weekend. Um, but
Oh, you felt
uh,
that way this weekend, huh, Ben?
I did. I just felt that. I woke up and I was just like, today's gonna be a good day. No, man. Yeah, but you did have some guys who underperformed in Nakua. Thielen, are you a little worried about your boy Thielen? He's had two. Well, last week I guess he's in double digits, but
yeah.
he dropped down to 7.9 this week. Are you concerned about him and Moore, or do you expect Moore to be back on track next week? This
No,
coming week, I'm
you
sorry.
know what? I'm not really worried about anybody on my team right now. In the
Hmm.
fact of, except for this last week, they've all pretty much hit every week. Not high, but receivers getting 12 to 15. And as long as I got a bunch of guys scoring 12 to 15 and a couple of guys going off, I feel good. I got Pook on a bye this week, but I was able to slide Tyler Lockett in there. I got my running backs back. I'm not as braggy as Nate is in Dynasty, but I was able to cover
Braggy.
my bye weeks a little bit, and
Mm.
that feels good to be able to do that.
Yeah,
But it's
Nathan kind of.
also like we talked about multiple times this year, looking 2 or 3 weeks ahead to find your guys for buys. Nate did it
Mhm.
last week for you. I did it for my quarterback. Same thing. So planning out ahead, especially in the 14-man league with the super thin benches. If you're not looking a month ahead on some of your buys, you're just not doing it right.
Yeah, I'm looking ahead to week 13, and Adams gonna be catching me on some serious trouble with my buys. So, but Matt, you Nathan kind of alluded to it, and I asked you a couple weeks ago if this is a championship team. Are you feeling that way?
I mean, because I'm up there in power rankings and points, I gotta say it is looking like I could make a run in the playoffs. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you're like you said, you don't.
At this point, I expect him in the playoffs. We'll see where it goes from there.
No, I think you're a lock for the playoffs, and you're on a 7-game winning streak right now. You're playing against me, who has injuries and buys, and isn't looking good. So you should be on an 8-game win streak going into next week.
Although you have an 18-9 record on me, dude, so you got
Yeah,
my number every year. We'll see. We'll see.
am I your Josh?
Maybe, dude.
Yeah.
But you do have some tough matchups coming up. You got Dre, you still have Alex, and then of course you play Ben in the final week. So
Yeah.
I don't expect you to win all of those games, but yeah, it certainly looks like you're on the right track. And this is always the right time of the year where I start looking at the potential playoff teams and wondering where are we going to draft. And so I asked the question last week to Ryan. I want to ask you the same question right now. If you win the championship this year, what I mean, I know you probably haven't picked a place yet, but where are you leaning? Where are we going to draft?
Okay, you guys know I've said it many times, and now that Ben has told me that he'll do it, he told me that if I pick Chicago, or we can go sit in center field at the Cubs game
Mm.
and draft in Chicago, that he would do that. So because Ben's given me the okay that he would be there, I'm leaning that way. But you guys know me. I love families. I love the kids playing around. I love all that shit. So Chicago, I'd love, but I also know about this like private hotel up in the mountains, like out in California, where you can rent out the whole like 20-room place and private pools and that kind of stuff. I looked at it a couple years ago when I won. I might look that back up too, because that'd be kind of cool to us to have our own little dude ranch going on for the whole place to ourselves. So
it's
those are
looking
my
like
two ideas right now.
either Chicago or California is
Yeah,
where you're leading.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Chicago might get a little bit pricey, finding a
It
place
would.
to stay out there and that sort of thing. But okay, we'll have to make a note of that. I always root for the players that want to draft at the places I want to go to. So
All right, brother. Well, this was fun. Congratulations on your big week, and
Thank
see if you can take Nate down and finish the Conroy sweep this next week, man, or this
Give it my
upcoming
best
weekend.
shot.
There you go.
Best shot.
Well, thanks a lot, brother. And we'll see you in the low score segment next.
we'll see you here where
Right
we
here,
are
right
at
now.
the moment.
Right now.
I'm still seeing you.
I've not stopped seeing you yet.
Welcome in, Adam, to your low score of the week interview, sir.
Probably
You,
one of many this year.
This is actually your second.
I know.
We've researched it. We got the right number. We thought maybe it was 3, but it was only 2. So you put up over 100 points. We could say that much by 101. And congratulations there. Danny Dimes got you 1.9. You got Mingo at 1.5. Freeman at 3.2, and your Hollywood Brown at 6.4. And that's a tough one, Adam. It's a tough loss this week. And is this? I kind of wanted to ask you, is this one of the reasons you made this trade with Nathan for Justin Jefferson for Cooper Kupp? Are you?
Oh, did he accept it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. This is perfect. I love it. No. I just wanted him to accept it. I was like, oh, this is chaos, if anything, because like Cooper Kupp, who Carson Wentz might be throwing to him, Matthew Stafford might be throwing to him with a broken thumb. Like if Carson Wentz is throwing to him, maybe he throws it to him and not the other team. I don't know. Like and then Jefferson is like, fucking Dobbs is gonna be running it instead of throwing to him. But like Minnesota, it felt like a throwaway kind of thing. Oh, they're not gonna bring him back. But then they started fucking winning, and now they're like, can you please come back and get us into the playoffs? So Jefferson might be a thing. Maybe. I don't know. He practiced today in a limited fashion. But
that's why
I'm excited. I'm excited to have Cooper Kupp because like there was so much commentary on that trade. And I'm so glad that it went to Nathan. I'm so glad you ended up with that fucking dead fish after, like, I got it from Justin. It was fun. It was fun to be involved in that after all that shit talking.
No, I mean, as you know, I put in several offers to Justin at the time. I tried to get Justin Jefferson 4 weeks ago. So,
I know.
Yeah, I mean, when you sent me the offer, it was immediately intriguing. I mean, shit, my season's in the toilet anyways. So
yeah, me too. I'm just trying to stay out of the dress at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean that's the whole thing, right? Is we're probably going to see each other in the loser bowl. So this whole trade will revisit itself at that point. It'll be
interesting. That'll be fun.
Yep. Hey Adam, I was going to ask you. I know this is your second time on the pod for a low score segment. I know you're in last place in this league. You're also in last place in the other league that you play with us, which is the Dynasty League. And I know that one is a bit by design because you're rebuilding there. But,
yeah.
From experience, and I've mentioned this before, my worst years in this league, in the 21 years we've been playing, I had a 2-year stretch. Or maybe
man, I don't care what you know anymore, man. I really don't. Like, the last time that I listened to this podcast, I turned it off as soon as you started shit-talking Justin, and I haven't listened since. And I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear what you say, honestly, because like there's nothing you're going to say I can't read on Twitter 2 hours ago. That's what I loved about this podcast before was the commish corrections would come off and I'd be like, well, I know when to turn it off. Click. But now you're on the whole fucking time. Just blah, blah, blah. I know this. I know that. He tried to, he wouldn't just take the trade. He's like, Darren Waller. I'm like, I never believed in Darren Waller quite like you did, buddy. Not with that conviction. I wanted Hawk. But
Are you saying I counteroffered your trade, right?
You did
Yeah,
with
and you didn't
Waller.
accept the counter, so I accepted the
No.
original deal. Okay.
I know, and it's fun. It's nice, but I don't know, man. That was a fucking bitch move to me. Where you guys, not you guys. I'm sorry, you guys. I fucking love the Conroys. You guys are great, but Matt, you might back me up on this as an older brother. I thought that was a bitch move when my brother sent you guys a video after y'all have been saying, "Hey, here's a question of the week, and it's better when you send us fucking content." And then Justin volunteers to send you something y'all didn't even fucking ask for, just to be a willing participant. Nate takes every fucking opportunity to shit on every move he makes. It's like he's watching him all the fucking time. Now, you can tell me rivalry this or rivalry that, and that's fine. But you brought his fucking kid into it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fucked.
I agree. Hey,
And
Adam.
he hasn't participated in this rivalry in 2 years. I think that's how long it's been, right? 2 years. And so, Matt, am I wrong here and going like that's a bitch move and fuck you? Or should I be like, and I'm doing it on the platform where you did it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I'm doing
yeah,
it in
yeah.
the text where you did it.
Yeah.
Because
I
at
don't
some
think there's
point, if the
any
shit talking keeps happening, there's going to be lines that get crossed
I don't
that
think
aren't
there's
just
any ill
funny jokes on
intentions.
podcasts anymore.
Well,
What?
can I respond real
I
quick?
don't believe there's any ill intentions
Yeah.
involved.
Maybe
Yeah.
not, but
And you
it
know what,
fucking
Adam?
crossed the line with me. So
Yeah,
Let
and I
him
appreciate
respond.
that. I appreciate the as a big brother you're sticking up for him. One thing you didn't see, and I did it offline. I didn't do it live on the recording because I wanted it to be directly to Justin.
sure.
When Justin was on the pod the following week, he was on for what was it, high score or low score, something. After we were finished recording, I did apologize to him, and I told him the same thing you're saying to me. I said, you know what? I was trying to be funny. I thought it would be a funny joke to say, oh, maybe pick up a better hobby with your son. After
Yeah.
after rewatching the recording, I realized it didn't come off the way I intended it to be. It wasn't funny. It was actually just kind of cruel. And I said, hey, Justin, I wanted to take the opportunity to apologize to you. And
Yeah.
he thanked me and he accepted my apology. So I didn't want to make that public, really. I
Well,
just
I'm
wanted
glad
to
we
apologize.
did. I'm glad
Yeah,
we did because now we know that like you have a conscience and you'll like catch yourself and apologize and shit like that. Because now it's public. Like I wanted to make it public because
okay.
I thought that was a bitch move apologizing behind the scenes. That was 2 bitch moves for me. The keep carrying on this weird manufactured rivalry when he's deflecting all the time and deferring to you and just
Well,
being
that's
like
not true.
fucking
That's not true.
it's
I
all in the
think
thread,
Justin
man.
stands up for himself when he needs to and when he feels like he has to.
He
Yeah.
does.
I think Adam, I appreciate everything you're saying and I love the honesty and I'm so
Yeah.
happy somebody's on this pod being honest and telling us it sucks sometimes and you guys having the mics fucking and us not being able to talk back sucks. But I don't know that you need to defend Justin this much necessarily.
Maybe not,
He
but it
defends
crossed the line.
himself
I mean,
pretty
to me,
fucking
it
hard
just
when he needs to.
hey, he can, but he
Yeah.
doesn't, and sometimes he lets things go. And
Well,
I feel
his
like I
exact
wanted to make sure we're not setting precedents where any of us are trying to belittle any of us
Yeah.
when our
yeah.
kids are
We're on
involved.
board with that. 100%.
When our fucking kids are here,
Yeah, I agree.
especially
I
when they
agree.
might
I
watch
crossed
the
the line.
Hey,
podcast and
Adam,
all
I
of
called
that.
him out on the pod too. I made a comment. I said, I think Portia made you say that or something. I made a joke, and then he actually made it a serious apology. I thought it was jokingly, but yeah, no, I think
And
it
by
would
the
have
way,
got
when I
squashed.
did
And
apologize to Justin, his response to me was that, you know what, you and I, or he actually said, I've said enough things to you in the past that I didn't take any offense to what you said because I've said worse things to you. That's what his exact response to me was. So,
Yeah,
I
but he's a
agree. I
better
did cross the
person than
line.
I am. He goes to fucking
I wouldn't have
meetings and
apologized if
shit.
I
I
didn't
don't.
think I crossed the line. But I'm glad you're bringing it up because we're clear in the air between you and I don't obviously have anything personal against Justin. You're right. We do have a little bit of a shit talking rivalry. I push back on your statement that it's a manufactured rivalry at this point and that he's just been deflecting. No, he gives it as much as he takes it still to this day.
Because as soon as I hit stop on the podcast, I texted Justin and I was like, "Hey man, when was the last time you even talked shit to Nate?" And he said, "I stopped when his brother died." Okay, and so he's made a conscious effort. So you can push back all you want, but those are the words he said to me, and that's what I'm saying is like we gotta fucking like leave family out of it. We gotta not like be trying to rub shit on like when you fucking lose, you lose. We're all trying our hardest. We're all being competitive and trying to have fun and figure shit out. And it's like, I get it. Like shit talking's cool, but like every opportunity to fucking take a jab at somebody, even when they're losing, like that's the weird thing is like stepping on people all the time. I don't know, man. Just wasn't into it.
I got to say something, Adam. I got to say
Let's
something.
do it.
I appreciate it, but this league has been known for shit talking on everybody since the time we
Yeah.
started this. We give Bobby more shit than anybody. You chime in. You give
All the
we give everybody shit. So
Yeah.
to some extent, there's got to be some leeway in this. It can't be just your bitch move, your bitch move, your bitch move.
That
Because
is a bitch
everybody,
move, though. Like to ask for content and then shit on the people that volunteer to give you content. Like this, I'm not gonna talk. Like
I don't
you know,
know. I
like
think
you're
you're going
giving
a little
everybody
hard.
advice
Look,
on
look,
fucking
look.
fantasy football because you make fantasy football. I make fucking content, and I'm saying that's a bitch move for getting UGC content. Like you can't say, "Hey, everybody, send me shit," and then go, "You're a fucking idiot."
That's not what I
Like,
said, though.
I
didn't
don't
say
remember.
that.
I don't remember.
paraphrasing.
I don't remember us doing
Do
that.
something
I don't
you're
remember us
good
doing
at
that.
with your son or whatever those
Yeah, it was a
fucking
bad
words
joke.
were.
You're right.
Yeah,
I told you it was
yeah.
going over the line. It was a bad joke, and I did
Cool.
apologize to him. But we didn't shit on him for sending us in content. We actually appreciate every time he sent something into us, and
Well,
we told him
and
that.
Nah, it was
let's
the
be honest.
like he said,
Hold
"How would I
on.
fix my team?" And you're like, "It's
Hold
a
on.
shit team." But there was no fucking like helping him. There was no like he gave you
Yeah,
an
that was-
opportunity to be like fantasy experts or whatever, and
Listen,
you just like
Nate didn't
you should have
drag
drafted
Nate
better.
didn't drag family into this. Justin brought his son to the draft, had him at the draft, participating
Okay.
just like Braden and Alex in baseball. He when he threw down the 3-time hammer on Nate, he brought his son on to do it. He was in the video. Nate did not drag his family member in this and start beating up on somebody. Justin interjected his family into this. Nate made a bad joke and he's apologized for it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't think this is like way over the line. I don't even think you crossed the line, to tell you the truth. I
Oh,
appreciate
okay.
your feelings,
Well,
but I
across
don't
my
think Nate
lines,
went that
yeah.
far to where he needs to be called a bitch over and over again on this.
No. Just those are just bitch moves. He's not a bitch. He's fine. We're
Okay.
still friends and all that. Like, and I
What was
just
the other bitch
assume
move?
like
You said apologizing offline was the other
yeah,
bitch move?
offline. Like after talking shit in public to everybody, like if you're gonna apologize, make that pub. Like let everybody know, I fucked up. Yeah, all right. I
You
crossed
said it on the
line.
pod. You didn't listen the next week.
I didn't, but I heard
No, I
it.
said it
I
after we
heard
were
it
done
happen off
recording.
air.
Oh,
It's
did you?
like- Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
my
yeah.
bad.
Well, yeah, I didn't.
yeah.
I didn't
And
want to
Nate
make a
even
big
said it.
spectacle over me apologizing. I just wanted Justin to know because I thought that if he felt any offense to what I said, I wanted to make sure that he knew that I didn't mean it any offense. It was just a bad joke, and he accepted my apology. So thank you for sharing those feelings with us, Adam. I won't say.
Hey, who is that?
I won't say the thing I was going to say about your team because obviously it's a sore subject at the moment.
No, I don't care about my team. We can talk shit about my team. Like, dude, I have been fucked on these first rounds. Like, I got like the Brees Hall thing. He fell apart after a couple weeks. The fuck Najee Harris turned into Najee Harris. I don't know, man. So I'm just I'll keep collecting them and keep fucking swinging and missing them with this goddamn dynasty team. Jesus Christ. Fucking every time that I've won, which by the way hasn't been in 9 fucking years. I haven't been good since Aria was born. Like that's it. Like
It's
I
one
haven't
of my
fucking
theories.
really
I
don't watch
love guys in
football
my
or nothing.
division who have young kids.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
a
it.
fucking that's a strong one because when I could like read all this shit like and fucking watch the things and keep up with the news, I was on the waiver wire when it was like open and all that. Now I'm like, it's not working. And so yeah,
That
like
was actually going to be my question to you before you cut me off. Wasn't about kids. That's always the theory is that when people have kids, they don't play as well. But I have a different theory, which is that when men become single, they don't play as well because you're too busy talking to girls, out in the kind of dating scene. When I was single, those were my worst years of fantasy football because I just had other things going on. I wasn't focused on looking at stats. Is that your experience as well?
no, it's just the kids, man.
Just the kids.
Like, yeah, I mean, I wish I was living that life, but these fucking yeah, these kids keep me drained. Like when I don't have them, I'm just like work. So
Yeah.
it's fucking yeah, like fantasy football. I wish that like I mean it's fun. I still have fun doing it. Bear with me the next couple of years because the older they get, the more independent they'll get. The more I'll be able to go. You go over there, and I'll be over here, fucking researching shit. But
maybe there'll be another Antonio Brown for you sometime soon.
I thought it like every time I have like a Chris Olev or like somebody, I'm like, ooh, is this the one? And nope, so far I'm like Christian Kirk lit it up and got a big check, and then ooh, he's been all right. Not doing it. Like nobody's turning the corner like Antonio Brown did for me.
Nope. All right, Adam. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you being here for your low score of the week. See you soon.
Later, fellas.
All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, we're going to talk about it would. Sorry, I fucked that up.
It would.
3, 2, 1. All right, guys, let's move it on to it probably won't happen, but it'd be pretty fucking cool if it did. And this week's game, Panthers versus Bears. Two cellar in the bottom of the cellar teams in the NFL right now. They're neither of them are doing great. So let's see what happens when we make our picks. You guys one of you guys want to go first this week? I seem like I always go first.
Yeah, I'll take it actually. So I think this game, Thursday night, we always expect low scoring, weird games. It's all Thursdays. But last time I remember was like Panthers, Texans, two rookies against each other, hoping for fireworks, ended up being a really low score game. I'm going opposite here. I think it's a weird freak Thursday night thing. I'm going to say over under a 54 for this game. Probably won't happen, but it'd be pretty fucking cool if it did. If not, it'll be a boring ass game.
Yeah, when I saw that we were going to be predicting for the Thursday night game, the first thing that popped in my head was DJ Moore revenge game.
Damn it, Nathan! That was mine.
You may not take it. Hold on.
You told us to go first, man.
I know.
I
didn't think you were going to go there, but go ahead.
Well, that was the first thought that pops into my mind, and then I think to myself, well, shit, he's got Tyler Bagent. Is it Bagent or Bagent? Bagent Cody Banks throwing him the ball, and the last 2 weeks, DJ Moore has not looked good with Bagent throwing him the ball. He's obviously not capable of getting the ball to a receiver like DJ Moore. So that made me not want to go to it. But then I realized, of course, I'm playing against DJ Moore. And last year I had DJ Moore on my team, and he was so disappointing, I named him DJ Nevermore.
I'm going to try and dodge it.
Of course, what's going to happen this week is DJ Moore is going to put up minimum 40 fantasy points.
Wow. You got the 16 pack of weenies sitting next to you?
Yeah.
Or is it? Are they the ball? Are they the full butt length?
They got to be the footlongs. They got to be the footlongs.
Dodger dogs. Oh well,
listen, it probably will happen, but it'd be pretty fucking shitty if it did.
Well, I mean, I guess in the vein of everybody else, I'm going to go on the other side of the ball. I'm going to say Tyler Bagent throws for 3 touchdowns, and they end up winning the game. And it's going to be a Bears victory. That's what I'm going to go with. Tyler Bagent, biggest game of the season. I was going to go with DJ Moore revenge game. That was literally, I had thought of that, and I was like, ugh. But
what was your prediction going to be, Ben, for DJ Moore?
I was going to say he was going to match his. I was going to say he's going to top his 52-point score this week and go even
Why
farther.
don't you go with that?
Well, because Nathan already predicted he's going to do something.
I predicted 40. You predict 50. It's 2 different predictions, but I think the spirit of the segment is that DJ Moore is going to not only have revenge against his former NFL team, but also his former fantasy team. Book it.
Yeah, book it. All right. Well, I think it would be pretty fucking cool if it happened, but it probably won't. You know what I mean. It would be pretty fucking cool if it did. All right, guys. Let's move it on to our Bobby's Can of Worms. Last week's one was really good. He did a acoustical version of the theme song that we asked him to do, and I really enjoyed his backups. Even though he didn't get Megan in there, I did enjoy the black and white version of him popping in there. I thought that was kind of funny. I got a chuckle out of that. This week, Matt, we're gonna let you give the assignment this week. So go ahead, give Bobby his assignment. We're
actually going to hold off because we got a message from him earlier that he's not quite going to be ready to give us the full version of what we asked for this week.
Okay, well, let's watch that message right here.
Hey, I love this suggestion, Nate. And thank you guys for the opportunity. I am excited to go outside of my comfort zone and try my hand at some comedy. Sure, why not?
That's hilarious, Bobby. Now that's stand-up comedy.
That's some serious comedy right there. And his golf game's the real comedy part. He did it at the golf course, so that makes sense.
That golf course is like a joke.
I think it was apparently an Arkansas golf course. That's
Is that what they look like in Arkansas? Okay,
Yeah.
I've been in California too long. I guess.
Yeah. Well, Bobby, get us. We appreciate the little heads up, but get us the actual comedy bit this coming week so we can see it. I'm really excited for it
because we do have some stuff in the pipeline, dude. Bobby, we need to keep moving it forward. We got some stuff coming.
That was Bobby's can of worms.
Nice.
All right, let's move it on to Thunder. Our Thunder round. And guys, this is it, man. I'm up 2-1 to 1. I got the win this
last
week. 59 for me, 49 for Matt, and 56 for Nathan. So we're all pretty close.
Oh man.
I just edged you guys out a little bit and got my second win for the year, which I'm really excited about.
I've only had one good week. I've had one win. I've sucked every other week, like really bad. So I got to turn this around.
Yeah, well, it's, you're getting too much of your karma going to your main league fantasy team. So
I'll stick with
that's
that.
where all the luck's
I'll lose
going.
this every time then.
Yeah,
There you go.
There's only one league that matters. We all know that, dude. There's
There
one
is.
league that matters. That's it.
The main league, as we call
Yeah,
it.
that's
It's
it.
the only one that really matters. All right, this week's picks. We're going to start off with quarterback. You guys know how this game goes. Nathan, you got the first pick this week. Who you taking?
Yeah, so this guy had a pretty down game last week by his standards, and it's funny to say that because even in a bad week, he still scored 25 fantasy points.
Mm-hmm.
But this week, he's going to have it a little bit extra motivation. He doesn't want to lose 2 weeks in a row. He's playing on Monday night against one of the worst defenses in the league, Josh Allen, my pick, against Denver's defense.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. Matt, who you taking at quarterback?
You know what? I've been a little bit late to the party to see how good this guy has been the last couple of games, but I'm not going to miss it this week. Dak Prescott.
Yeah, man, that guy's been lighting it up. He's projected at 21 points this week. By the way, Allen's projected at 26 points this week. I think I'm going to split the difference and go right in the middle of the two of you guys, and I'm going to take. Actually, you know what? I thought about taking him, but now that I look at who he's playing,
Thunder.
I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go Burrows this week. I'm going to take Burrows against Houston.
Both of them?
Both.
Both of them. I'm going to take both Burrows. Burrow. I know. I'm the worst at that. I cannot say his name correctly to save my life. All right, let's move on to running back. Matt, you're up.
As Nate said earlier, there's only one stud running back this season, and I'm going to take him, McCaffrey.
Yeah, it's a smart
Smart.
pickup. It's a smart pickup. I get to go next. I'm going to go with my boy Eckler. I'm going to stick with him against Detroit. Nathan, who you taking?
Yeah, so, there's a couple of guys that I looked at, but something stood out to me today when I was watching a press conference. They asked Arthur Smith, how come you're not giving the ball to Bijan Robinson more often? And he gave this big, long-winded response as he's using Bijan as a decoy, and by using him as a decoy, it opens up all the other players to the field's more open for them. And I thought to myself, if you're truly using him as a decoy, why are you telling the opponents that now? The only reason you would tell them that now is you're trying to set the opponent up. They're going to think he's a decoy this week, but you're actually going to use him this week. Bijan Robinson is going to finally have a huge game.
All right. Then I get to go first in running wide receivers. I did it to you last week. I'm going to do it to you again, but this time I'm switching it up. I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb for my wide receiver this week. Matt, you get to. Oh, Nate, you get to go next.
Well, I had already written it down on yours because you said you were going to do it to me again. Apparently, you did it to Matt, so of course I'm going to go with my handcuff, and I'm going to take Diggs.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, well then I am going to swerve a little bit And I'm going to take the Sun God.
Nice. Oh, you're trying to jinx me, are you? Just because we're playing each other this week?
Little
right.
back and forth action. You guys got
A little gamesmanship there.
Little,
All right.
You guys playing swords this week? A little double weenie.
Don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams. I would have gone with Jamar, but he didn't. He hasn't practiced this week, and so I was
back
gonna.
injury.
I was gonna go with.
Back.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the stack, but that's why I didn't.
Yeah,
Hi,
you know who else
guys.
didn't practice today was T. Higgins didn't practice, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's got an injury as well. So, one of your two Burrows might not do so well this week.
One of the two, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, that was it for our Thunder round, guys.
Ben,
and,
who you got?
Oh, let's say talk about who we picked. I took who did I take? I took CeeDee Lamb, I took Eckler, and I took Joe Burrow. Nate,
Yeah, and I got Josh Allen. I stacked him with Diggs, and I'm praying for a Bijan breakout.
Yeah, I got Dak, CMC, and the Sun God.
Wow, I think Matt's got it this week. Just something about that stack right there. I think he's got the points. So, well, that was it for our Thunder round, guys. I think you guys are gonna go down again this week, but I don't know. Matt's team does. I do like Matt's stack, but I gotta keep it going. I gotta keep the streak going. Keep the streak
And we
alive.
still haven't come up with anything winner losers do yet, right? So we gotta figure that out for next week. Or
Sure.
Well, I mean, as long as we could think of something. I think we should just be like a trophy. I thought we talked about that. A trophy that we put in the background. A microphone with a little helmet on top, or
finished. Okay,
something. I mean, something like that. Something easy like that. All right, guys. Well, you guys got anything for us? This week is in the books, man. Week 10 is done. After this, you guys got anything else for me? You got something going on this weekend you guys want to talk about?
Well, I'm excited. The Niners are finally back. They're off their bye. They've got a big matchup on the road against Jacksonville, who I believe is on a pretty significant win streak. So that's going to be a tough game. A team on a losing streak playing a team on a winning streak, and the team that's on the losing streak somehow is favored on the road. That never really made much sense to me. So we'll see if that's bulletin board material for the Jaguars. I do want to give you guys my money line upset of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Last week I did hit that. I said Washington would come out, and they did. They won the game. God, man, I'm so tempted. I want to give you Texans over the Bengals this week, but I can't do it. I'm going to take a home team. I'm going to give you the Chargers money line against the favored Lions.
Interesting. Chargers, you're not worried about the Chargers charging, huh?
Well, I'm always worried about the Chargers charging, but their defense looked good last week. I don't know. I think they can get at Goff. I think these Lions, they've gotten a little bit, their heads look a little bit big right now. They're a little full of themselves. Yeah, they're a little big for their britches. It's about time that somebody put them in their place. So I think that's the Chargers this week.
Well, and Joey Bosa had his first really good game of the season. So if they are building momentum, it's going to be on his back. So you may be right about that.
Yeah.
There you go, brother. What do you got going on this weekend? Anything?
Yeah, no, not a lot. Just football, just focusing on, talking to my guys, making them think smart and how to beat Nate's team. And, we're just going to be that mental mind meld the whole time. No, dude, just hanging out and loving watching football.
You guys going to do any?
The season's almost over.
Yeah. You guys going to do like a Zoom call together so you guys can hang out for the game and talk? No.
I mean, this is literally already enough of Matt this week. I don't want to see him anymore the rest of the week. I know he won't admit it, but I know Matt takes special pleasure in officially putting the nail in my coffin this week. I know he gets a little bit extra juice from that, so I'm not gonna feel that any more than I need to.
Just keep blocking those fucking weenies as they come my way, dude.
Well, Nate, I'm off this weekend, so I'm gonna try and get over to your house to watch some football. I'm gonna do my best to make it. So, guys, that was it. This is a wrap on the Ordinary Fantasy Pod, Week 10, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you.